Burkina Faso's youthful and bold president, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has once again demonstrated that being a leader is more than just making token gestures and shaking hands with international dignitaries. It is about taking bold action to serve the people. Traoré is redefining governance with audacious, transformative ideas, while many African leaders still rely on aid, adhere to antiquated policies, and put their own interests ahead of the growth of their countries. His most recent initiative, a national healthcare revolution that includes the building of 55 facilities, has shocked both the corrupt elite in Africa and their Western backers. This extraordinary move follows months after he drastically cut hospital bill costs, guaranteeing that Burkina Faso residents now have access to high-quality healthcare as a right rather than a privilege. Traoré remains unconcerned at a time when many African leaders are frantically trying to explain how they will survive after the United States government stopped funding USAID in Africa. He builds while others complain and plead. This raises the question of how Captain Traoré is able to finance such a large undertaking when other African governments assert that they lack the resources to offer even the most basic services. His groundbreaking self-reliant governance model, which highlights the shortcomings of numerous African governments and provide the potent lesson in what true leadership looks like, must be examined in order to provide a response. Burkina Faso's Presidential Initiative for Health is a domestic, self-sustaining, and long-term plan to change the country's medical system, in contrast to the flimsy, donor-dependent healthcare programs found throughout the continent. Many African politicians willfully overlook a basic reality that Traoré's administration is aware of. Africa is wealthy. It is devoid of accountable leadership. Without waiting for Western subsidies, Traoré has been able to start an independent, large-scale health infrastructure project by putting a priority on resource mobilization, smart alliances, and reducing government waste. The building of the 55 new medical centers was formally started on behalf of the President of State by Captain Martha Celeste Anderson de Camometer, Director of the Presidential Cabinet, marking a significant milestone in Burkina Faso's progress toward healthcare self-sufficiency. You are all aware that it will take time to construct all 55 medical centers, but the government has made this decision. To meet the rising need for specialized treatment, the government has laid up a bold plan to construct 20 community medical centers, 2 hemodialysis facilities, 5 critical care units, and a cutting-edge cardiac institute by 2025. A progressive approach to healthcare is demonstrated by the development of molecular breast cancer diagnostic technologies, which guarantee early illness identification and better treatment results for Burkinabe residents. This program demonstrates what African countries can do when their resources are managed effectively and their leaders put the good of the country before their own interests. While some leaders continue to complain about economic woes and rely on foreign help, Captain Ibrahim Traoré is demonstrating that the real keys to national growth are smart governance, visionary leadership, and an unflinching dedication to the people. In addition to changing Burkina Faso, his efforts are establishing a standard for the rest of Africa, pushing its leaders to go beyond mediocrity and genuinely serve the people they profess to represent. Despite possessing enormous natural resources, many African governments still operate as dependent client nations, shackled by IMF loans, suffocated by corruption, and unable to pay for even the most basic public services. Traoré's governance model, on the other hand, places a higher priority on self-sufficiency and opposes the destructive circle of debt dependency. He has ensured that resources are distributed appropriately, reduced wasteful government spending, and diverted military money toward public benefit. Because of this, Burkina Faso, a country that many Western observers once wrote off as impoverished and insecure, is today making greater progress in its development than resource-rich countries that have enjoyed independence for more than 60 years. The achievement of Captain Ibrahim Traoré is a critique of the African ruling class. His accomplishments highlight the egregious incapacity, misguided objectives, and downright treachery of leaders who have held power for decades without producing even a small portion of what Traoré is producing in a few years. The leaders who pledged African unity are nowhere to be seen. Those who pledged to defend the people are nowhere to be found. Why do countries with plenty of wealth, diamonds, and oil still need international assistance to construct schools and hospitals?